the English language is affected by various different languages over time. One big contributor was Latin. We have borrowed hundreds of words from Latin, and the language still affects the English language today. When you hear about the impact of Latin has on English, you probably think about word roots. That's because lots of our words were borrowed from Latin to English and then changed over time. We took Latin words, added them to our vocabulary, and over time they evolved into our language. Today, although you may not know it, you speak using many words that were originally Latin. However, we take these words for granted because we adopted them so long ago. During the Christianization of Britain around 7th to 10th century BC, many words that originated from Latin were adopted into the English language. Over time, these words evolved into our everyday vocabulary. During this period, the majority of the words we borrowed were religious ones, such as nun or abbot. The word nun, from Latin nonna, meaning tutor, was changed from nonna to nune as it was adopted into Old English. Since then, through dropping vowels and shortening words, it has evolved into the word nun, a word we use ordinarily. Another example is the word abbot. In Latin, abbatem meant the father, my father. We changed it to abad in Old English, and then through the process of word change in time, it changed to abbot, a modern English word. Around the 1500s, Britain entered the Renaissance period. This was a time of science and literature where scholars studied ancient Roman and Greek art, philosophy, literature, and architecture. Many words related to science and medicine were borrowed into the English language, for example the word temperature. Temperature, from Latin temperatura, meaning a tempering or moderation, was changed over time, most likely dropping its ending, becoming temperature, meaning degree or intensity of heat. Another example is the word anatomy. Anatomy, originally from anatomia, meaning the study of a structure of living beings, was most likely modified over time, losing its ending. As a result, anatomy was created. Another possible explanation could be the shortening of words over time. The ending ia could have easily been converted to the ending e, ending up with anatomy. There were also words that were used in everyday life that were borrowed into the English language that were not necessarily related to a certain theme or period. Examples include words such as wine or cup. The word vinum, in Latin meaning wine, most likely lost its ending over time, which happened frequently among words, changing from vinum to wine. The letter V in Latin is pronounced softly, similar to a W in English. It was most likely changed to this as a simplification or to avoid confusion. Another example of an ordinary word is the word cup, from Latin cuppa, meaning a tub, cask, tun, or barrel. The Old English for cup was cupe, which was just a small ending change from cuppa that most likely occurred over time. Similar to previous examples, the word most likely lost its ending over time as time passed, and we ended up with the word cup. On the whole, Latin had a great influence on the English language, and our vocabulary is a major aspect that was impacted. We borrowed words of various categories during different periods, words of religion during the Christianization of Britain, scientific and medical words during the Renaissance period, ordinary words such as foods and objects, and more. Overall, the Latin language impacted our vocabulary greatly, and our language would not be the same without it.